Hey there, YouTube. It has been a little bit since my last post, but I wanted to hop back in here and do another kind of free form, uh, open thought about kind of the last month that I've been going through. Uh, in the last month, I have kind of been focusing a lot on change and changing, right? Because I'm kind of in this process of wanting to become a better person, right? And I'm sure a lot of people out there probably feel the same way. Um, and, I've just been thinking a lot about what it really takes to become a better person. Um, when you start to change, you kind of find yourselves at this crossroad, right? On one foot, you kind of have who you are, who you've always been, and on the other foot, you have who you want to become. And along with that, there are a lot of things that are going to change about you to reach where that first foot's stepping. So I've been thinking, how do you grow? How do you evolve without kind of losing who you are, right? Because we all want to remain true to ourselves. So how do you remain true to yourself while changing is kind of the big thing that I've been thinking about. Um, so this is kind of what I've learned so far. It's kind of a five-step system towards this growth, right? Kind of without losing who you are. So step one, you have to know what better means to you. Becoming a better person doesn't mean becoming someone else. It means becoming more aligned with your values, with your purpose, with your vision. But you have to define what better actually means. It's not somebody else's version of perfect. It's better for you. And if you go into this change without defining that first, you'll end up chasing change for the wrong reasons. And in doing that, you may end up even feeling further from yourself than when you started this journey. So when you grow, step two, you will change, right? You won't be the same person that you used to be. Ideally, right? You don't want to be that person. You're trying to improve. This doesn't mean that you're abandoning who you are. It means that you're maturing into the version of yourself that you were always meant to become. People around you might not get it at first, and some part of you might not even get it either. Growth kind of inherently brings some friction, right? With your habits, with what you do, kind of with who you are and how you bring yourself to each day, right? And kind of stepping out of your own comfort zone in a way. And that's okay, because you aren't betraying who you used to be, right? You're not changing, you're not switching up. You're kind of refining who that person was, I would say, by refusing to kind of stay stuck and stay in this rut that you may be feeling if you found this way to this video, right? You kind of want to refine who you are. So step three would be to let go of the idea that you have to be perfect at something to start, right? That is kind of the big thing that I've realized, right? You're not going to jump into anything, any sort of change, and it's going to click immediately, and everything is going to just work out perfect. And honestly, you don't even need to have everything figured out to start this change. You don't have to become this flawless, optimized version of yourself in one day. You're not going to change everything overnight. You kind of just really want to focus on being better than you were yesterday, right? The smallest shift in mindset, in habits, right, can lead to large changes over time. Maybe you just want to get out of bed earlier. Be more productive with your mornings, choosing to be more honest in your life, and just being upfront with people, right? Maybe it's to just be healthier. Maybe you want to make a switch like that, whether it's eating healthier, changing your diet, exercising more. What matters is that you aren't going to magically be perfect in all of these things at the start. So you kind of need to understand that up front, and not beat yourself up if you aren't perfect day two, right? If you slip up in the second week, that's fine. That is what work is, right? It's a long process, and it might even be a very quiet process for you, right? Um, People might not notice the work that you're putting in, um, but over time you'll see it and you'll feel it, and you'll know that the work that you've been putting in is working. And at that point is when you start to change, right? That is the change. It is slow, it's methodical, it's day to day, it's small steps. It's slow, but it is real. You can really change yourself, right? To be whatever you want to be. So, the next part, 4, is about kind of people's comfort zone, right? And not confusing your comfort zone with who you are, right? Because there is a stark difference between the two. We hold on to things as people. We hold on to habits as people because they're familiar, because they make us feel good, right? But that comfort isn't who you are, right? Especially if you're someone who wants to change that comfort zone, those habits aren't you because you feel that you want something different from yourself. So you have to ask yourself, am I staying the same because it is just who I am, or because it is the easy route, right? It's just what I know, it's what I do, so I'm going to keep doing it. Changing and becoming a better person means letting go of your old habits. Some of them, maybe not all of them, but the ones that you want to change. Because if you keep falling back on these habits, then you won't change. It's really as simple as that. So it's going to be uncomfortable, and it's not going to always be fun. But that is the growth, right? You will become comfortable with it. It won't affect you or bother you as much. And after a while, you'll even begin to look forward to it in certain situations, right? Whether it be exercise or diet, you'll start to like the healthy food you're eating, and you'll begin looking forward to going to the gym. So become uncomfortable. And the last part is just staying grounded in your why. When you're in the middle of growth, you will doubt yourself, undoubtedly. You'll question who you're becoming, why you're changing. You'll worry if you've maybe gone too far, changed too much from the person that you used to be, and maybe you don't feel like you anymore, right? But that's when you have to come back and remember your why, as to why you started this journey from the jump. Because that is really your motivation. That is the only most raw motivation that you're going to get, is your own will and your own want to change. So becoming a better person isn't, and that can go for whatever that means to you, right? That's your own definition that you need to define. Becoming a better person for you in your life. It's not about just overnight drastic changes. It's kind of doing some reflection on yourself, what you want to change with your life, and taking that first step towards that goal. There's no reason to keep waiting. You have every day is a new day, you know? People say it sounds corny, but it's true. Every day you have a new opportunity to take that first step towards the change that you want to make. Um, so, really ask yourself, what do you want to change? Who do you want to become? And remember to think about what you want to take with you in that change. Um, your core principles, right? Who you really are deep down after your reflection. What you want to keep. What you want to work on and change, work on and change it. And that overall, right, that process is how you can grow to become a better person without losing yourself and losing who you are. So, in all, right, you don't have to pick between staying true to who you are, staying loyal to yourself, right, and changing and becoming better. You can change who you are with intention. You can grow without erasing who you used to be. You can keep stepping forward, walking forward, and remembering and carrying with you where you started along that journey. It's a transformation. You're not changing it to somebody else. You are, like I said, refining who you are, polishing who you are into the version of you that you have been just thinking about becoming for who knows how long, right? Could be a week, could be months, could be years. So thank you for whoever is listening to this. I hope that my kind of ramblings on my growth process and kind of what I've thought about change and becoming a different person while remaining the same person. It's a bit of a fun little contradiction that I had thought of kind of while I was just thinking about whatever, you know. So if you're still here, I want to thank you for taking this walk and listening to me. And if you have any insight that you want to add, I please ask you to add it to the comments and maybe form a discussion with others. And I'd love to read and reply. So thank you again and take care. Goodbye.